Long ago, in the land of Canaan, there stood two cities known for their wealth and prosperity, Sodom and Gomorrah. The lush plain around them was fertile and green, well watered like the garden of the Lord. Yet, despite their outward beauty, the hearts of the people were corrupted with arrogance, violence, and sin. The Lord, who sees all things, looked upon the cities and found their wickedness to be great. Their sins cried out to heaven, filling the air with injustice and cruelty. The poor were trampled, strangers were abused, and the people pursued wickedness without restraint. But God, who is merciful as well as just, chose not to destroy without warning. He resolved to reveal his plan to Abraham, his chosen servant, who dwelled near the oaks of Mamre. Abraham was not only a man of faith but also the uncle of Lot, who lived within the walls of Sodom. One day, 3 visitors appeared near Abraham's tent. They came in the form of men, yet carried the presence of heaven itself. Abraham hurried to offer them hospitality, setting before them bread, meat, and milk, bowing low in reverence. After the meal, the Lord spoke to Abraham, revealing that he had come to investigate the wickedness of Sodom and Gomorrah. If the cries of evil proved true, judgment would fall upon the cities. Abraham's heart was stirred with concern, not only for the people but for his nephew Lot. Boldly, Abraham drew near and pleaded with God. "Will you indeed sweep away the righteous with the wicked?" he asked. With persistence, Abraham interceded, asking if God would spare the city for the sake of 50 righteous men, then 45, then 40, 30, 20, and finally 10. And the Lord, patient and gracious, answered each request. If even 10 righteous people could be found within the city, he would spare it. With this promise, the Lord departed, and Abraham returned to his tent, trusting in God's justice and mercy. That evening, 2 of the heavenly messengers arrived at Sodom, and Lot was sitting in the gateway. Seeing them, he rose quickly, bowed low, and urged them to come to his house. He prepared a meal and pressed them to stay the night, knowing the dangers that lurked in the city after dark. Before long, the men of Sodom surrounded Lot's house. From young to old, they demanded that the visitors be handed over to them for abuse. Lot, grieved by their wickedness, stepped outside and pleaded with the crowd, even offering his own daughters in desperation. But the mob grew violent, pressing hard against Lot. Then the visitors who were angels of the Lord reached out, pulled Lot inside, and struck the men of the city with blindness so they could not find the door. The time for judgment had come. The angels warned Lot to gather his family and flee. "Take your wife and daughters and leave this place," they said, "for we are about to destroy it." Lot hesitated, torn by fear, but the angels seized his hand and the hands of his family, leading them outside the city. As they escaped, the angels commanded, "Flee for your lives. Do not look back, and do not stop anywhere in the plain. Escape to the mountains, or you will be swept away." Lot, trembling, begged to take refuge in a small nearby town called Zoar, and the Lord granted his request. At sunrise, the heavens opened with fire and brimstone. The Lord rained down burning sulfur upon Sodom and Gomorrah. The lush valley was consumed, the cities reduced to ash, and all who remained were swept away in the fury of judgment. But as they fled, Lot's wife looked back longingly toward the city she left behind. In that moment of disobedience, she was turned into a pillar of salt, a solemn reminder of the cost of clinging to what God condemns. Lot and his daughters pressed on, their hearts heavy with grief. When Abraham rose early and looked out from the hills, he saw smoke rising from the land like a furnace. The cities were gone, their cries silenced. Yet God remembered Abraham and delivered Lot from the catastrophe. Thus, the story of Sodom and Gomorrah stands as a testimony to God's justice against sin and his mercy toward those who trust in him.